only eat salad.
Well, you got it.
Pig to the Baja. Pig to the Baja.
One of the NFL's hottest rookies just threw away his clean image on camera. Just few days to the Super Bowl, Tet McMillan was caught on a live stream saying words that made the internet stop cold. The apology came fast, but the footage was already everywhere, and the timing could not have been worse. Now he's apologizing in court, and when people dug into his past, it only got 10 times worse. Tet McMillan's live stream disaster before his biggest night. Let me set the scene for you because the timing on this one is absolutely wild. We are talking about February 4th, 2026, Super Bowl LX week in San Francisco. The entire football world is locked in. Every camera is on. Every microphone is hot. And right in the middle of all that energy, there is this charity gaming event called Streamer Bowl 7. Now, this is an annual thing. They bring out NFL players and pair them up with Twitch streamers and influencers to play Madden NFL 26 for charity. Sounds harmless, right? Sounds like a good time. Well, it was a good time until it was not. Tet McMillan, the Carolina Panthers wide receiver, is sitting on a couch playing this game alongside popular streamers Yana J and Tamir. They are playing as the Panthers. The vibe is loose. People are laughing. People are talking about food. They are cracking jokes about diet and cheat days. It is all casual. Then McMillan makes an interception in the game. And when I tell you this man jumped up from that couch with the energy of somebody who just won the actual Super Bowl, I am not exaggerating one bit. He shouts out a racial slur twice on a live stream in front of thousands of people watching in real time. The words that came out of his mouth were the N-word followed by the word pick, as in interception. He was celebrating a virtual play in a video game, and the excitement just pulled those words right out of him, like it was the most natural thing in the world.
I only eat salad.
Well, you got it.
Pig to the Baja. Pig to the Baja.
Now let me tell you about the reactions in that room. Yana J, the streamer sitting right next to him, looked like somebody had just told her the building was on fire. She grabbed her cue cards and held them up over her face like she was trying to disappear. She whispered something to Tamir that nobody could hear. The whole atmosphere in that room shifted in about half a second. You could feel the awkwardness through the screen. The stream kept going for a little bit after that, but it was not the same. The energy was gone. The fun was gone. Everybody in that room knew that something had just happened that was not going to go away quietly, and it did not go away quietly. That clip spread across the internet like wildfire. We are talking X, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Millions of views within hours. People were sharing it, reposting it, screen recording it, putting it in compilations. The clip was inescapable. If you were on social media that night, you saw it. There was no way around it. Now here is where you need to understand who Tet McMillan actually is. This is not just some random guy. This is a 22-year-old rookie who was drafted by the Carolina Panthers in the 2025 NFL Draft after an absolutely electric college career at the University of Arizona. He is of native Hawaiian descent, born and raised in Waimanalo, Hawaii, Polynesian heritage. This man came into the league and immediately made his presence felt. We are talking somewhere around 70 to 75 receptions, over 1,000 receiving yards, and 7 touchdowns in his rookie season. He helped the Panthers make the playoffs for the first time since 2017. They lost in the wild card round to the Los Angeles Rams, but the point is that McMillan was a huge reason they even got there in the first place. So this is a man who had been building something special. His first season in the league had been one for the record books. He was on his way to being one of the most talked about young players in the entire NFL. And then in the span of about 3 seconds on a charity gaming stream, the entire conversation around his name changed. The very next day, February 5th, 2026, McMillan went to his Instagram story and posted an apology. His handle is @Nalo, and the statement read, "Yesterday while on live stream I used a term I should not have. There's no excuse for what I said. I sincerely apologize for speaking thoughtlessly and will do better. Short, direct, no dancing around it." He acknowledged the mistake, said there was no excuse, apologized, and committed to doing better. But here is the part that makes your jaw drop. That apology went up just hours before the NFL honors ceremony on the very same day. And at that ceremony, Tet McMillan was named the Associated Press NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. He won it. He beat out every other first-year player in the league. He received 41 first-place votes after a season where he set records for receiving yards and touchdowns by a rookie. On the same day, he was apologizing for a racial slur caught on camera. He was walking up to that stage to accept one of the biggest individual awards in professional football. You cannot write that kind of timing. You simply cannot make it up. The man was trying to put out a fire with one hand and accept a trophy with the other, and the whole world was watching both things happen at the exact same time. Now, the Carolina Panthers organization did not put out their own separate statement. When reporters asked, the team simply pointed to McMillan's Instagram apology and left it at that. No press conference, no team-issued letter, just a redirect to what the player himself had already said. As of February 6, 2026, there had been no announcement of any league discipline either. No fine, no suspension, nothing official from the NFL front office. But the internet was not about to let this slide that easily. And what people found when they started digging into McMillan's past only made things worse, because it turns out that this was not the first time. The old footage that made everything worse. So, the live stream moment was bad enough on its own. A young NFL star shouting a racial slur on camera during a charity event that was supposed to be fun and lighthearted. That by itself was already a problem. But what happened next took the whole situation to a completely different level. After that clip went viral, people started digging. And when the internet decides to dig, it digs deep. Within hours of the Streamer Bowl incident, older footage of McMillan started resurfacing all over social media. We are talking about clips that appeared to be from real-life football settings. Not video games, not live streams, actual football fields with players in uniform and referees standing right there. In these clips, McMillan was reportedly using the same word, and not just once or twice. People described it as him spamming it, just saying it over and over like it was punctuation. Now, mainstream media coverage of the Streamer Bowl incident did not specifically reference these older clips as confirmed prior incidents. There were no formal disciplinary actions documented from those earlier moments, but social media does not care about formal documentation. The compilation videos were out there. People were watching them. People were sharing them. And the narrative was shifting from a one-time slip-up to something that looked a whole lot more like a pattern.
I only got mad as because it's my ankle, my bad ankle right here.
Nah, hey, I'm not even going for you. I put down God in heaven.
Nah, you good, bro.
I put down God in heaven. Hey, I'm just trying to compete.
I know, bro.
That old footage added fuel to an already blazing fire, because now it was not just about one moment of excitement during a Madden game. It was about whether this was just how McMillan talked all the time. And for a lot of people, that changed the conversation entirely. Now, the reactions on social media were all over the place. And I mean all over the place. Let me walk you through what was happening on different platforms, because it was a whole circus. Over on Reddit, there was a thread in the NFL rookies community with the title about McMillan apologizing for using the N-word during a live stream, and the comments in there were actually pretty measured. Some people praised the structure of his apology. One user broke it down and said it acknowledges the mistake, acknowledges that it is in fact a mistake, apologizes, and commits to doing better. They thought it was well written. But then another user replied with a more skeptical take, basically saying, according to who, questioning whether McMillan actually believed it was a mistake or if he just knew he had to say it was. Over in the Panthers community on Reddit, somebody posted the video with the title about McMillan saying the N-word on a live stream. The responses there were a mix of humor and criticism. Some people were cracking jokes while others were genuinely upset. On X, the posts were flying in from everywhere. Accounts like TMZ Sports, Daily Mail Sport, and others were amplifying the story. Engagement was massive. We are talking thousands of views, hundreds of replies, likes stacking up into the hundreds. One user pointed out the irony of McMillan showing up to NFL honors the very next day after the incident, calling out the contradiction of apologizing 1 minute and accepting an award the next, and the opinions were genuinely split down the middle. On one side, you had people who were furious. One user on X posted a message demanding that the Panthers suspend him immediately, pointing out that there was footage of McMillan saying the word before he even played professionally and referencing what they called the Panthers organization's own noted history with racial slurs. Other people called it bad and said the Panthers front office must be furious. But then on the other side, you had a whole crowd of people who did not see it as a big deal at all. Some pointed to his Polynesian background and said he was good because of his heritage. Panthers fans were saying he was fine in their book. Some people were arguing that his generation says it all the time and there is no racism behind it. Others were making the distinction between different versions of the word, saying there is a difference between the casual version and the hard version. Some people flat out said, who cares? Or it is just a word. One person on Instagram said they were sorry, but they laughed when they saw the other two people's reaction, because J and Tomer, looked terrified. Then there was a whole separate conversation happening about whether the environment McMillan was in played a role. People were saying he has been in that locker room all season, and it is a learned trait that he grew up around it. That's saying the word has never been about being black. It is about the cloth you are cut from and where you grew up. Some compared it to other communities, saying that Polynesians on the West Coast use the term casually all the time. One comment on Instagram, flat out, said he can use the word and that he has probably been saying it his whole life. Another said he definitely is not sorry, and he is definitely going to use it again. The viral posts were getting enormous numbers. One of the main posts about the clip pulled in over 28,000 likes and nearly 500 replies. Another got over 1,800 likes. The conversation was everywhere, and it was not slowing down. As for celebrity reactions, former NFL wide receiver Dez Bryant came out and defended McMillan amid all the backlash. The exact details of what Bryant said were not fully detailed in reports, but he was clearly on McMillan's side. Popular streamer Your Rage also reacted to the clip and compared the situation to other communities, saying it is like with Mexicans who say the word more than black people do and just be spamming it. J, the streamer who was sitting right there when it happened, was reportedly confused about the whole thing and at one point asked if McMillan was black, not fully understanding his ethnic background. Some people dismissed the whole controversy as media-driven, saying nobody they had seen was making it a big deal other than the media looking for clicks. Others called the outrage outdated, and one satirical post even speculated about a $25,000 fine, though that was never confirmed as real. But while all of this was happening online, there was a much bigger question floating in the background. Was this actually new for the NFL? Had we seen this kind of thing before? And the answer to that question takes us down a very long and very messy road. The NFL's long history with the same word. What happened with Tet McMillan was not the first time the NFL found itself dealing with a player and a racial slur, and if history is any guide, it will not be the last. The league has been going back and forth on this issue for over a decade, and the list of incidents is longer than most people realize. Let us start with the rules. Back around 2013 and 2014, the NFL seriously considered cracking down on the use of the N-word on the field. The idea was to treat it as unsportsmanlike conduct, which would mean a 15-yard penalty, potential fines, or even ejections. The Fritz Pollard Alliance, a group that pushes for diversity and inclusion in the NFL, was one of the biggest advocates for this. Their chairman, John Wooten, was calling for the word to be eliminated in all contexts. Between 2014 and 2016, there were around 44 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties across the league for abusive language, though not all of those were specifically for the N-word. The enforcement was inconsistent at best because referees are trying to listen for specific words in the middle of a chaotic football game. That is not exactly easy to do, and not everybody in the league was on board with the crackdown. Players like Richard Sherman and Doug Baldwin pushed back hard. They called the proposed penalties almost racist for singling out one word, arguing that it ignored the cultural context of how the word gets used in trash talk between players. Fullback Mike Tolbert said the word is said all the time in games and that players view it as part of the game when it is used among peers. Now let me take you through the specific incidents because each one tells its own story. In 2013, Riley Cooper became one of the most talked about names in football for all the wrong reasons. The white Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver was at a Kenny Chesney concert when he got into a confrontation with a black security guard. Somebody pulled out a camera and recorded Cooper yelling that he would jump that fence and fight every person there using the N-word in the process. The video went viral. Cooper received death threats. He put out an apology saying he was ashamed and disgusted with himself. The Eagles fined him an undisclosed amount and sent him to counseling, but they did not cut him. He actually went on to have a strong 2013 season with 853 yards and 8 touchdowns, then signed a 5-year, $22.5 million extension in 2014. He was eventually released in 2016, partly because of performance, but the incident never fully went away. Some people even connected it to later racism allegations against Eagles coach Chip Kelly. Cooper later came around and actually supported banning the word on the field. That same year in 2013, we got the Richie Incognito situation in Miami. This one was a whole different animal. The white offensive lineman was at the center of what became known as the Bullygate scandal. It came out that Incognito had been harassing black teammate Jonathan Martin with voicemails and texts, that included the N-word, threats, and insults about Martin's family. An NFL investigation led by Ted Wells confirmed a pattern of harassment involving Incognito and others. Incognito got suspended for 8 games. The Dolphins eventually released him. He later played for the Buffalo Bills, but the controversy followed him. In 2018, during a Jaguars versus Bills playoff game, Jacksonville defensive end Yannick Ngakoue accused Incognito of using racist slurs again. The NFL investigated but issued no penalties that time. As for Martin, he retired in 2015 citing mental health reasons. In 2025, he said he did not feel bullied, but stood by the facts of what happened. Incognito called it a lie. And Warren Sapp even shared that Incognito once called him the N-word during a game, though Sapp viewed it as endearment in certain circles. Then in 2014, we had the Colin Kaepernick situation. During a Week 2 game against the Chicago Bears, the 49ers quarterback was penalized for inappropriate language after an interception. Officials said Kaepernick used the N-word toward Bears defensive end Lamar Houston. Houston initially denied hearing it, but later changed his story and confirmed it happened. Kaepernick denied the whole thing and appealed the $11,025 fine, which got reduced to $5,512 because there was not enough evidence. His coach, Jim Harbaugh, called it a travesty. This case showed how hard it is to enforce these rules when you do not have audio proof of what was actually said. That same year, Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Louis Murphy was one of the first players flagged under the new rule for using the N-word on the field. Not much came of it beyond the penalty itself, but it was part of the league's early attempt at enforcement. In 2016, Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver Marquise Lee was flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct during a Week 7 loss to the Oakland Raiders. Lee admitted it publicly. He said it was back and forth with emotions going from both teams, and it just so happened the referee heard him. He got fined but not suspended. The incident made it onto shows like Undisputed, where Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp debated whether black players should be penalized for using the word in trash talk with other black players. Now we get to 2018 and the Josh Allen situation. Right before the NFL draft, old tweets from the Wyoming quarterback resurfaced. Allen, who is white, had posted things in 2012 and 2013 that included the N-word and phrases that looked really bad. He went on ESPN and apologized to Stephen A. Smith, saying some of it was song lyrics or TV quotes, and that he was young and dumb. The Buffalo Bills still drafted him 7th overall. He addressed the locker room about it. Team captain Lorenzo Alexander said he saw it as ignorance rather than malice. No discipline followed. Allen went on to become one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but the tweets never fully disappeared from the conversation. And then there is the big one. November 2019, Browns versus Steelers. Week 11, Cleveland defensive end. Myles Garrett alleged that Pittsburgh quarterback Mason Rudolph called him a racial slur, specifically the N-word, right before Garrett ripped off Rudolph's helmet and swung it at him. That brawl was one of the ugliest moments in recent NFL history. Rudolph denied the allegation and called it a bold-faced lie. The NFL investigated and said they found no such evidence to support the claim. Garrett got suspended indefinitely, though he was reinstated in 2020. He was fined $45,000. Rudolph was fined $50,000, but not suspended. Rudolph's agent hinted at defamation lawsuits. Garrett's own teammates said they were unaware of the claim, and Steelers coach Mike Tomlin called it unfounded. That whole situation turned into a he said that will probably never be fully resolved. More recently in 2025, Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf punched a Lions fan after what was alleged to be racial slurs directed at him. Former player Chad Johnson claimed the fan used the N-word. The fan denied it and filed a $10 million defamation lawsuit. That case highlighted the tension between fans and players, but was a different kind of situation since it involved a spectator rather than a fellow player. Looking at all of these cases together, a pattern emerges. White players who use the word, especially off the field or in a directed and harmful way, tend to face the harshest public backlash and the most serious consequences from teams and the league. When non-white players or black players use it casually on the field, the response is more of a debate about context and intent. The NFL has pushed to eliminate the word from the field, but has rarely punished players for using it casually off the field, unless it crosses into harassment territory. McMillan's situation falls somewhere in between, a non-black player using it casually in a celebratory moment during a non-workplace setting. His quick apology and the lack of any suspension so far line up with how the league has handled similar cases where there was no malicious intent, but the court of public opinion operates on its own timeline and by its own rules, and that court is still very much in session. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click on one of the suggested videos on your screen right now for more amazing content.